I can't stand social media. Is it possible to still grow my business? This was such a good question from Jordana that I think we need to dive in on today. So let's get into it. Hey, beautiful human, and welcome to the Bold Women in Business Summer Series, where we're going for fast, fierce clarity so you can get back to your busy summer plans. I'm your host, Rachel Honeyman, founder of Honey Be Bold, and in 15 minutes or less, I'm going to answer one game-changing question to help you brand smarter, market bolder, and connect deeper. Go grab your floaties and let's dive in. I gotta be honest, I have such a love-hate relationship with social media these days. I've been working in social media in some form or fashion since about 2011, 2012. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, something like that. So it's been a really long time. I think we've all experienced how much things have shifted on social media, both from a personal standpoint and from a marketing standpoint. All around, it's gotten more challenging. And really, in my core, I will tell you super honestly, as much as I am very active on social media, I think it's like hard to deny that social media has been a bit of a net negative for society. I get a lot of benefit from it personally and professionally, but it's not great. So I always say if I didn't have to be on social media for work, if I didn't have to be on it for my business, probably I would be better off just being off it completely. So all of that is to say, I totally get where Jordana's coming from. And I think a lot of you probably feel the same way. The thought of posting on Instagram or being on Instagram may make you want to throw your phone in the ocean if that weren't so bad for the environment. Social media burnout is so real. And there's just so much gross, awful things happening on social media, and we don't want to expose ourselves to it all the time. But if you don't want to be on social media, does that mean that your business is doomed, that you're not going to be able to grow and get in front of the right people? I don't think so. I think that you can grow a business without social media. There are ways to do it. Of course, it's important to understand that there are going to be some challenges. It may be a bit more of an uphill battle, but it is absolutely possible to still grow your audience and market your business and grow your business without, silly dancing reels. Why do businesses have to be on social media or quote unquote have to be on social media? Because they need visibility. But social media is really just one tool. It's a really important tool. I will always tell someone, if you feel okay being on social media, I will always encourage you to be on social media if you can be as a business owner, because it is the easiest way to build visibility. But it is just one tool. Your real goal is to get in front of the right people with the right message and in a way that builds trust and alignment with the right people. And you can do that without ever opening Instagram. So here are 5 social media free visibility paths, things that you can do to get in front of an audience and build your audience. Number 1 is your email marketing. This is the prime example of owned media. What does owned media mean? It means it's something that is yours. It's marketing that you own. This is as opposed to posting on Instagram. Instagram really owns your content in a lot of ways. They hold the keys to your success. And this is true in many ways, right? It's true because the algorithm determines so much of your success. Listen to last week's episode that's all about going viral, right? The most important thing that I talked about was luck is the biggest factor and the algorithm is the biggest factor. So that is one way that they own your content. The other way is that Instagram can just shut down your account, or Facebook or whoever, right? LinkedIn, they can just shut down your account, boot you off the platform for whatever reason. This actually happened to me last year. I got completely not only locked out of my LinkedIn account, my account was deleted. And this happened kind of randomly. And I was so frustrated because LinkedIn is my primary marketing channel and I didn't really know what to do. They eventually restored my account. But these things happen. We always hear about this, right? Accounts getting just locked out and shut down, and ultimately Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or whatever platform you're on, they hold the keys to your account. Your email marketing, though, is a list that you own, and you can speak directly to the people who asked to hear from you, right? They want to be on your email list. I hope that you are not, buying email lists from people and scraping email lists that you don't own, right? We always want to be writing to people, sharing content with people that asked to be on our list. So how do you grow your email list? It is much harder without social media, because social media is this way to drive traffic back to your email list. But there are other ways, and your website is a really, really key place. If you're posting great content on your website, you have great lead magnet offers, you have, a quiz that people actually want to engage with, you have checklists that they actually want, you have workshop replays, whatever it is, these are ways to grow your list without social media. You can also collaborate with other content creators who have larger email lists to put on workshops with them, or do email swaps, right? Where you do a takeover of their email for a week and vice versa, and you can reach new audiences that way. But your email list is something that you own. Nobody's going to take that away from you. You can move it from platform to platform. It doesn't really matter. That is yours. Number 2 is SEO and evergreen content. So blog posts on your website, YouTube videos, Pinterest pins. And I know that technically YouTube and Pinterest are social media platforms, but they kind of fall into different categories. That, these are things that are working for you while you sleep. You don't need to be on those platforms necessarily engaging with your audience. They really are kind of working in the background for you. They take work to create, obviously, and that creates really good pillar content. I've talked about pillar content before, long form pillar content that you can build off of to create additional content to reach your audience, and you can work on it in these different ways. So you could have a blog post that links back to your YouTube video, and then you send that out to your email list. You have Pinterest pins, whatever it is, you have ways of kind of automating this a bit so that you don't have to be sitting on social media all day. And I will always come back to the pillar content. You want to have 2, 3, maximum 4 high impact topics that your people are always searching for. They always need advice on, and build your content funnel from there. Number 3 is speaking and teaching. So this can be in person, it can be on Zoom. You can be doing guest podcasts, webinars, workshops, summits, whatever it may be. This relates to what I just talked about with the email list. Stealing, in a good way, other people's audiences, that is gold. That is a great way to grow your audience. So one thing that I will challenge you to do is to create a really killer speaker or podcast pitch that you can start sending to people that aligns with your offers, that aligns with who you are and how you want to build your audience, and allows you to reach new people. Number 4 is referrals and word of mouth systems. I talked a few weeks ago about the risks of only relying on referrals and word of mouth, but referrals and word of mouth are great ways to grow your audience. So really turn your best clients into evangelists for you. You may need to incentivize referrals, but that's actually a really good thing to do. You want to make it easy to share you with their friends and their colleagues. So another challenge for you would be to create a really killer one-pager that is great to send to people to refer you, or a branded forward this email, right? Something that kind of gives an outline of who you are, what you do, what you offer, who you want to work with, and makes it super easy for people to send business your way. Number 5 is relationships and collaborations. So networking does not have to be gross. I am a big believer that networking should be really about connecting with other people, helping other people, being that connector yourself, and really looking for ways to show up and be generous with your time, with your ideas, with your expertise. And really, that is a great way to build your network and get yourself in front of more people. So challenge for you would be to find 3 really aligned business owners and do a mini email swap or a bundle with them. So those are 5 tips for you, 5 ways that you can be growing your audience and talking to people without social media being a major factor. One thing that I believe, and some people may not agree with me, I don't know, I tend to look at LinkedIn as being in a separate category. I don't know why. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that because of the structure of LinkedIn, it's less of the constant doom scrolling that we do on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, or TikTok. There's less of that just constant quick content in our faces. And so I personally use LinkedIn as my primary platform. And I kind of use it as this way of almost giving myself like writing prompts every day and like journaling in a sense. I really try to connect with people much more deeply on LinkedIn. So that's both in what I'm sharing, how I'm engaging with them in the comments, how I'm engaging with their content, and then also in the DMs. There's just a lot more that can happen there, I believe. And so if social media feels really icky to you, and when you think of social media, you're thinking primarily of like the Instagrams of the world, you don't have to be on Instagram. I think it obviously depends on your business, your audience, who you're talking to. LinkedIn may not be appropriate for you, but it is just something to keep in mind. If you're more on the B2B side of things, or your audience is just hanging out there, it can be really, really useful. Now, another thing that can be really helpful is to view social media as a distribution channel instead of a life-consuming content platform. So you can create your content on a blog or on YouTube or wherever you want to be creating your primary content, and then just pre-schedule your posts, repost your newsletter content, whatever it is, just using social media as a distribution platform. And you can even post, less frequently. You can post a couple times a month instead of posting daily, right? Those are extremes, but you don't have to be posting every day. You can be posting as little as you need to without completely falling off the bandwagon, if social media still feels like a really essential platform for you or a channel for you, even with all of the tips that I just provided. For me personally, I don't see a way to completely go off of social media. It wouldn't work for me, for my business. So I post pretty frequently, but I do it very intentionally. So the bottom line is you can grow your business without social media. If you really hate it, you do not need to be on it. And you certainly don't need to be on it daily or as frequently as so many of us are. But it is important to be honest with yourself about where your audience is hanging out, how your growth is going without social media. And you might want to experiment for a little bit. Try these 5 things that I just shared with you and see how it goes. See how growing your audience goes. And if it's not happening the way that you want it to, you may need to be on social media, but you can do it in a way that doesn't feel soul-sucking. All right, that's your tip for the week for this bold summer short. All right, beautiful human, that's your bold hit of the week. Short, sharp, and straight to the point. If this helped, share it with a friend, leave a review, or DM me your biggest aha. This show was brought to you by my company, Honey Be Bold, with music by Shmukulele. Need help taking your business to the next level? Visit us at honeybebold.com, that's honeybebold.com, and set up a free vibe check with yours truly. Until next time, stay bold and always wear sunscreen.